The final day has arrived, ladies and gentlemen, at the Overwatch Beat Invitational. We've seen a lot of exciting gameplay over the last 2 days, but Jason, it all ends today. What team will go on to face Fusion University? We're starting out with Envision versus No Clout.
Well, I'm also hoping that all the players are wearing, most importantly, the right headphones here, because they're going to need to be able to hear the communication within the team as well as the sounds in the game. Luckily for professionals like us, we always have the right headphones worn.
I definitely don't grab the wrong headset right before broadcast and wonder why I can't hear anything. That has never happened to me, Jay.
Well, I think the best part about that potentially happening, not saying it did happen, is that Dash and I are sitting here laughing our asses off because Dash is like, he can't hear us because he has the wrong headphones on. And then we hear ZP say, why can't I hear them? Oh, it's because I have the wrong headphones on. It was just perfectly timed, comedic value off the charts.
Well, that's why Dasher is great as an observer. The man is actually psychic, or he can see through my comedically challenged life.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Moving into our loser bracket finals, right? It's going to be Envision up against No Clout. And ZP, I finally did get some information on No Clout. I know the last few days we haven't really known much about them in terms of like their past and their history, and their coach / owner, Rexer.
I'm not the only one who can't speak today. Yeah, let's go. This is gonna be a great cast. Sorry, continue.
He actually asked him about the players, asking what's their esports background, and Sugar Free and Voil are both 15. Hawk is 16. And it's their first real competitive game. Little Menace played competitive Smash. Has been playing Overwatch competitively almost the whole time that the game's been out. Hobbs used to B-Hop in CSGO. Okay, I don't think it's an esport there. And moved to Overwatch when it came out, and Hip Not Paintbrush are both new to esports games in general. So a team full of youngins and a team full of new esport players in general. And we also did hear, I'm not sure if you caught it, ZP, that Sugar Free's in the hospital.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm hearing that he's puking uncontrollably. I don't know what the issue is, but it doesn't sound like anything too bad. So that means they can't sub him into the game, and that means Voil and Hobbs will have to play the entire match.
Well, that is unfortunate because Sugar Free was the hero for No Clout yesterday against Chicken Ranch Pizza, where his Junkrat really stood out on Temple of Anubis. So hopefully for Sugar Free, he gets better soon. I can tell you that anyone who has caught the H3N2 flu has not really felt very good about it. So if that's what it is, best of luck recovering. But Jason, we're here in Lijiang Tower and the games are about to begin.
Yeah, so best of 5 here in our first match, and then the winner of this will go on to play against, as you said, FU, Fusion University, in the in the grand finals, we should say. And also for the grand finals, for people wondering, it will be first pick to Fusion University. They will not have a map advantage. And then map picks will alternate, so it won't be loser chooses. It will be Fusion University versus their opponent, or then their opponent, then Fusion University, their opponent, etc. until we do have that final victor. But now look at the ZP, looking at both sides for Envision. It looks like we're going to see the Reinhardt coming out for iShiny, as well as Hypnoc going to be using Reinhardt himself here for No Clout.
Will be a Ryan v Ryan battle. I'd be very interested to see if McGravy stays on the May. Don't think it's going to happen. Probably be seeing McGravy come out on a Diva. In this case, I would see Triple Tank coming out for the side of Envision, but I don't know. We'll have to see just what they decide to come out with. May would be interesting, though. Definitely a cool pick, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Junkrat does just so much work in these tight, closed areas, especially when people do go towards White Room or towards Point, you get a lot of free chip off, and also those Rip Tires can be so deadly when it comes to taking a fight for your team or turning a fight around. So here we go, kicking things off. Looks like both Reinhardt's going to meet win the Whitehall room. And we're going to see which Reinhardt's going to get that shout out first. Already Hypnoc getting the support of Azaria, and a great charge comes in.
Charge comes in. Meanwhile, Bud's in the back for Envision. Laying in the rockets. Nice splash coming out for Buds here. Chasing it down. And Buds has a very good flanking spot here. Gonna grab Little Menace for the first pickoff. And no one's paying attention to Buds. And it's really set Envision on the winning edge.
It's kind of been the story of Envision in their success. It was just all off the back of Buds. I mean, obviously not all on the back of Buds, but Buds doing some serious work, whether it was on Widowmaker, Junkrat, even switching to some hit scan, which we have seen him do over the course of these last 2 days. But Crimso as well, a man to really look at for their team. We were both really surprised to see him on his Zenyatta play, kind of reminiscent of what the old Boombox used to be.
Definitely shades Boombox, and now you look at Buds. Buds is very close to getting a tire up here. Lands a nice bomb onto the back Junkrat, and now here comes a tire. Moving forward, and it connects. 2 kills here for Buds. And Buds so far, the workhorse behind this Envision team.
Now they have a Graviton Surge up too here, ZP. So they have like two forms of win conditions. They have they have the Graviton, which can pair with the Rip Tire, or it can pair with the Self-Destruct, and you have your Shadow, which can pair with any of these ultimates, as well as the Rip Tire. So you have these like two big conditions that you can pair together, which Jaru and McGravy, now with ultimates up, might look to make this combo work.
Now you take a look at Jaru. Drops the Graviton on the pillar, picks up 3, and you see McGravy going to the back. Doesn't drop the Self-Destruct. Instead, you just gotta roll forward with Eye Shiny. But they don't get a kill. Instead, it's an Earthshatter coming out from Hypnot. Doesn't get too much either. And now, somewhat even between both sides. Tyler's taking down Buds, Jaru moving around the flank. 90% energy, and for as much as gone on here, Jason, it's been somewhat bloodless.
Yeah, this is the Graviton Surge coming on to Jaru and to fire. The Self-Destruct going to go off and not connect with too much. Just take Hypnot down. And it looks like they're going to run out of men here on the point for Envision. So most likely just drawn out for as long as possible. Keep in mind, Ice Shiny got Earth Shatters up back-to-back fights. That's ridiculous ult charge speed.
And he's at 48% right now. So Envision, they're going to slowly get pushed out of the point. McGravy was the last one delaying. But if you're Envision, you're fine with this. It's 85%. Plenty of time to work with here. And Jaru almost has another grab. So on Ulticon, Envision is quite a bit ahead right now.
I'm actually surprised they lost that fight when they did use the Graviton. I was expecting the Self-Destruct to come out of McGravy for a quick, easy kill, but instead they actually held on to it. There's the charge coming through, Hypnot to get charged into the wall as Shiny's going to land it. He almost has another Earth Shatter. He's going to definitely get it within this ultimate as well for the Graviton Surge. There's the Shatter to come in, and that's going to be Envision cleaning house here.
The Graviton setting it all up. Buds was there in the cleanup. And now, not only is Envision going to retake, but look at the setup that they have here. Even if they want to think about touching the point and getting an overtime push, Buds sneaking in the corner, has the Rip Tire. He's just going to let this rip, take down whoever the first person he sees, gets both Hobbs and Foil. No Tracer delay coming in this time.
No Tracer, but Paintbrush and Hawk are going to be there, so they're going to contest the point, but they're going to be pretty much up that, fabled creek without a paddle here. As Cribs is going to take down Paintbrush. Self-Destruct did go off for Hawk, but it's not going to net anything. And Envision will take the first point here on Lijiang Tower.
Hobbs is going to touch it. He does, just in time, but for how long? Of course, he was delayed by getting hit by that Rip Tire. Now he's going to fall. Foil, the last one here. Zarya versus the world. You can drop a Graviton, but you can't be your own fall through, at least not this time. As Envision takes round 1.
Pretty one-sided, to be fair, ZP. Again, Ice Shiny really stepping up. His Shatters, pretty damn ridiculous considering he was able to get them in back-to-back fights and almost get a third up for the third fight that did happen. Again, the questionable Graviton without a Self-Destruct, but it didn't matter in the end because they did finish the map anyways.
They had momentum the entire way through, and even when they did end up losing the point, it took No Clout pretty much every resource they had to get in on it, and it still left Envision in a very good position to just win one fight and finish it out strong.
Well, you know what also finishes out strong? The Smooth Taste of Starlet, which is one of our main sponsors here for this event. So make sure to check them out. 50% off if you're in the US under the video stream. You can click that banner and get that sweet, sweet deal. Now going on to Night Market here, as we do have the Pharah coming in for Boyle, but Bud's going to be on the Soldier. So Boyle going to be under a little bit of pressure, but the way he's been playing Pharah for the most part across this tournament, especially on the Lijiang Tower, has been good.
He's definitely had a good Pharah here so far. Bud's applying perhaps a little bit more pressure than he may be accustomed to. And Envision, what they have to decide here is, do you worry about Boyle? Do you go into the point? Bud's is trying to take that fight versus Boyle, but he's not ending up too much better for the wear. In fact, he's been losing that back and forth battle. Envision, they haven't committed to the point here just yet. And you see the pressure coming in from the back from Hobbs, but Hawk overextends a little bit here, Jason. Gonna get D-maxed, and now this is where Envision moves in, and they gun down Little Menace. Big opportunity now for Envision.
Boyle has a barrage though. If he could just stay healed up here and he gets one more rocket off, he could go for the big barrage. There's no D.Va to stop his ultimate, but there's a lot of damage, and Jaru's gonna eventually finish him up and help take this point. Hawk, you're gonna be desuited, and they won't have the men alive. And Buds, he didn't kill Voil in the beginning, but he kept him in check. Keep in mind, Voil yesterday, and I think even on day 1, picked up a barrage before the first fight even technically began because the amount of poke damage he was able to do with the Pharah. So he kept him in check at least and prevented him from getting off any real damage in the fight.
Very true. Voil, at the very least, does have to respect Buds, and Buds did enough in that first exchange to have Attack Visor up before the second. So Envision right now, they get to play a little bit more aggressive. Buds can pop the Attack Visor to finish off Pharah if he gets low enough, but for now, I think Envision is going to say, all right, it's up to you guys to retake the point. You need to move in towards us. So they're going to retreat back to the point, but Foil takes down both supports. And here comes No Clout. Why wouldn't you rush in after such a good engage?
Yeah, don't use any ultimates here if you're Envision now. There's no point once you lost both supports from just one rocket. Just gonna contest the point, try to build up some percent, but Boyle opening things up, didn't use the barrage just yet. He's had it, well, the entire game now, but he hasn't needed to, because as long as these rockets are landing on point like that, you're never gonna need to use that barrage and eventually give up your own life in a fight.
And that was pretty much a dream for a fair where you get not one, but both supports off long range spam, no less. Now we get to set up in the air and look for the flanking barrage. Although, he's not going to play it that way, Jason. He's going to back up to the point, and they're going to give the offensive Envision a little bit of room. But now you look at Boyle, he's looking towards those two archways where if you go in for the front, you have to go through one of the two, and then he's going to take his smoke to strike. Forces the Transcendence out of Crimzo early on, and now he's going to wait that out in barrage, but Hop's already down. If Boyle's going to move, he has to go now. He's down too.
Yeah, Bud's the attack visor gets 2 big kills, but he also can't push into the rest of them because he's only getting knocked off the map here. The Primal Rage has come in from Shiny just to knock them around, knock them off the point. He eventually gets the kill into Boyle, and everyone on the side of No Clout will eventually be finished off. So a good retake. I did like the position that Boyle was using, though. He was like sitting behind the point, kind of off to the side. He was letting them come in, but he was most importantly, he was just staying safe, and he was trying to chip them. And that's why Crimson used the Transcendence to make sure they don't take any of that chip damage and then force a fight with full HP.
So, No Clout right now at a turning point here where ult situation somewhat even between both sides. About to have the Valkyrie up. Boyle moving in. Barrage locked and loaded. Boyle looking for his opportunity. Menace already taken down, so Boyle doesn't have a life on anymore, but they do capture the point. Envision kind of lets him take it almost for free. Jaru gonna fall. And now Envision goes, all right, we're going to retake this. They drop the barrier, but it might be too little too late. They've given up plenty of positioning. They do get Boyle down, though, and that's a good start.
The barrier was actually huge because it saved Crimzo's life because he was right next to the self-destruct, but he got the distance away with the sound barrier to actually survive the damage coming through. They're going to clean up the rest of these people, and that's going to be Little Menace coming in onto the point, but that whole thing started with McGravy getting desuited, but using his self-destruct to remech, and Little Menace getting caught in the window. He was trying to get back to Boyle, trying to play the outside so he could stay alive, but he didn't have the ability to leap back in or to dash back into him, so it cost him his life and eventually maybe cost him the whole fight.
Could have cost him the map as well. We're getting down to the final fight here. Boyle wrapping around the outside, the rest of his team coming in on the opposite corner. You see Hobbs crouched in the back. It's a flank here where if Boyle gets anyone low, you're going to see Hobbs dive in. But now they engage. The Valkyrie out now for No Clout. They're going to take this fight as aggressively as possible. Hobbs is flanked, caught. Buds catches him on the McCree. Boyle looking for anything. A rocket to Jaru, but might be just not enough here, Jason, where you see the barrier in for No Clout, but they're already working at disadvantage. Barrage in on the point, but a Diva in Boyle's space gonna stop him at Eye Shiny, but no, he ends up taking down McGravy. No Clout still holding on, and Boyle is yet to be checked.
Yeah, Hobbs got the respawn back in, and he actually eventually picked up the kill. The Bud's getting revenge. Looks like Jaru will be a little bit late to the party to touch the point, but he'll die quick enough that they're going to have a second chance, a second fight before we do get into that 99% for both these two teams. Crimzo is going to have the Transcendence, and Buds is going to have a Deadeye as well. The pulse bomb out of Jaru. Hawk has to hit a really good self-destruct, which Hypnot can make that happen by knocking it back into it if they pair out both these ultimates.
Envision grouping up, moving their way forward. Buds, a lot of power in this McCree, but has to pick the right moment. Transcendence used. This is time to go for Envision, but they're getting pushed back. The self-destruct from Hawk zones them away from the Zenyatta. They're not able to get the biggest benefit from that in the moment. Pops out of the fight. The Buds moving in. Punishes Little Menace, looking for more. Picks up Hawk. Does he make it 3? He does! Buds on a rampage, gets 4 before Boyle takes him down. And that's going to be Envision retaking the point in the chaos and taking the round.
Just looked like there was a little bit of a misplay in calls there because No Clout pushed out with 3 to deal with the backline of Envision while 3 people on Envision were capping the point, and then they took the point and those 3 was still pushing out trying to finish off the backline of Envision, which eventually cost them. Like, they didn't even get that contest at the end. Really unfortunate, but Crimzo actually getting the play of the game here.
Yeah, I thought for sure it would have been Buds at the end. Buds absolutely going off in the final fight, and it's easy to forget sometimes because I feel like the meta goes in shifts where you see a lot of McCree, then you see McCree go away, then you see a lot of McCree again. But McCree's burst power, the ability to take over a fight when it matters most, arguably unparalleled in the world of Overwatch, perhaps equaled by Widowmaker.
What would you consider a better hero to babysit supports with, a soldier or McCree? I would say McCree.
I would agree, and it's because McCree sort of has this area of denial merely by existing, where you never really want to dive in on a McCree. if you dive in on a soldier, you have to respect the fact that he has Helix Rocket, but once Helix Rocket is down, you can sort of push him a little bit more aggressively. McCree, even when Flashbang is down, is not a hero that you go, oh, I'll just dive in readily. You don't do it without backup. You have to have a plan, and until you execute that plan, you give McCree breathing room, and by virtue, you give anyone the McCree is around breathing room as well.
And we're going into Kings Row now, ZP, and I was actually just trying to look at the map scores between these teams and what they have played. No Clout did win against OWL and P on this map in a 3-1 fashion, with a very one-sided fashion. Then they got stomped by FU on this map, where they didn't even get to the second point, and then FU did cap second point. We did have Envision play against FU yesterday on Kings Row, and they completed the map, though they did complete it. Actually, no, they completed the map, but neither team was able to capture that first third on the point. Actually, it was Envision who finished with time left, and FU did not. So, I don't know, looking at past results between Envision and FU and No Clout, it looks like this is going to be a good map for Envision, even though No Clout did choose it.
I do think Envision's going to have a good time here, and something worth noting here as well is that Fusion University looked ungodly strong on Kings Row, where for quite a while in the tournament, they were holding everyone at second point or better. So, I would not necessarily take anyone else's results against FU as sort of indicative of their overall strength on Kings Row, because it just felt like that was a strength of FU more so than a weakness of any other team.
Well, that's what I mean, is the fact that Envision did complete the map with time against FU, and then No Clout couldn't. No Clout couldn't even get to second point. Obviously, it was on day 1 versus day 2, so it could just been, that day of games that were being played. But obviously now with Sugar Free not being able to be picked up by No Clout since Foil and Hobbs are here, I wonder if they're going to kind of stick to like the projectile play out of Voil, or if they're going to switch him up to maybe like a Junkrat on attack or something.
Well, for now it looks like they're going to be keeping him on the fair, which means that Voil versus Jaru are going to be the matchup to watch. And Jaru, for his credit right now, doesn't want to take it up front. He's going to be going to a more backwards position to pelt Voil from afar.
I do like the positioning out of Jaru there with that soldier paired with Crimson on the Ana. I mean, it's a really good position, really hard to dislodge you, especially when there's no Diva to get to you and to kill you. But this solo tank for Hypnot is going to be very, very difficult, especially without Zarya to back him up. He can easily be bursted down.
Well, Hawk, I think, finding Gravy early on. An opportunity now for No Clout. Voil moving in more aggressively. Jaru actually ignoring Voil. You don't want to do that. Jaru take down 2 rockets. This is why you give Pharah the maximum amount of attention, because now who's going to check Voil? No one. Voil with plenty of room to work with. Going to lay the rockets into Eyeshiny, who's just going to fall. And No Clout well on their way to taking this point, Jason.
It should be able to. I mean, the reinforcements are coming here, but it's going to favor the attacking side anyway. Hobbs did get charged and pinned into the wall on the Tracer, but he gets res back up, gets the kill on the Fire, gets the kill on the Buds, and they will take it. Jaru's going to be playing from the high ground to try to get a little bit of chip damage in, because look at the discrepancy from ultimates. Voil and Hobbs, both with ults up, and only Crimzo at 91% for Envision.
And this is one of the maps where it's easy to forget, because you don't usually see Pharah play for too long here, and in fact, nope. They're not going to go for a sneaky barrage Voil. He's had enough. What is it going to be, Junkrat? No, Zarya. So it's going to be Voil going to the Zarya, Hobbs to the Junkrat. So, bit of a swap-up coming out here for No Clout. But
good composure,
Jason, they're not going to have Graviton for a while because they put in the Zarya late.
They're not, but I think it's good composure for him to switch, considering they're up against double hit scan now and a Diva. Like, you're not going to survive with the barrage. There's no point even trying to invest. That's going to be a Shatter coming through. Caps out to Hobbs, but they're not able to get the follow-up. But they get Little Menace either way, so they invest 2 ultimates with the Nano Boost and the Reinhardt Earth Shatter, and they do get the hold on Arch.
Oh, Eyeshiny got booped and ends up using the boop as leverage to take down Hypnot with the final swing. Of course, Eyeshiny is going to end up dying as a result, but it's still buying the defense of Envision more time here, where they get to fully reset up. They know they don't have to worry about Graviton for a while. Although, Voil at 50% of charging, you might have top Buds here. Buds in trouble. Getting killed by Ana at range, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Is he going to fall? He is. Voil looking for more. Charging right in. 80%. And Jason, this is how you build a quick Graviton and then some.
Yeah, he's going to have it up for the second point fight too, so they're going to have to respect this one so well. They don't have a Transcendence either, since they have the Ana and the Lucio together. Jaru has to look for some sort of opportunity. Look at this aggression. All pushed up, shoving them back into the Foundry here. We're not on third point yet, guys. They're still pushing the payload to second.
Who's stuck on the payload right now? Hey, let's go back and look at who's on payload duty. It's Little Menace just being Moira on the point. I think she's not healing the front line.
They grab it to the side CP. Voil, he's being ninja.
Yeah. They don't see him. Voil sneaking, moving in. Graviton, easy peasy, 4 people in, forces out the barrier, but here comes the follow through. No Clout diving in off the Graviton. They're not able to make it happen. Eyeshiny instead, gonna get nano boosted. healed up in the moment, charging through, blown up, does not get exactly what he's looking for. Back and forth, 5-on-5 right now. Very interesting the way this fight has developed. But the offense starting to work this through. They won the poke war in the end, and they just need a little bit more. But here comes the tire from Buds, and it's a difference maker!
They're going to contest. Buds has gotten there. He's got Hypno tracked. He's got the back of a Crimzo. He's going to knock him up. This is going to be time for the defending team of Envision to get back here to defend. They're going to get the kill. Don't even tell me. The Bio Grenade and the Rip Tire is going to pull them off the point and give them the chance for another contest.
Everyone thought Ana had just settled into retirement. You thought you could find Ana in Florida or something right now, but no. She's working out quite well for Envision in the setup.
Honestly, there was something really sexy that happened too. For Envision, Graviton comes in, a Soundbeer comes off the back of that out of fire. They put a Biotic Field out of Soldier down from Jaru, and then you have the Bio Grenade to come in as well. They had so much healing that it was so difficult to kill anyone within that, which is why everyone survived and backed out.
The Nano Boost also saved them. That was the other thing too. The Nano Boost was able to save iShiny, otherwise would have died. Buds, right now, in as Junkrat, putting pressure forward, and here comes iShiny again, being that walking wall of meat, pushing them back, and meanwhile, Buds is going to deal with that flank on the side. No Junkrat flank today coming in from No Clout, as Envision continues to hold the line.
Honestly, so smart too, in terms of game awareness of Envision. Buds sat on the payload because they needed fire to stick with Shiny. If you Nano Boost a Reinhardt without the speed mechanic off Ana anymore, since that was changed a hell of a long time ago, then the Nano Boost is useless. So they keep fire with him. Normally you keep fire back, Lucio on the payload to keep it contested since he can survive for such a long time. But they put Buds there instead.
Speaking of Buds, Buds is out in the middle of nowhere right now. He was hoping to catch some of us and move over, but look at this positioning he has. It's great. He's going to be looking for supports. Buds, over the top, drops the mine, gets plenty of splash. It's enough to build a tire. And speaking of tire, here we go. Kicks off two. The flank from Buds, beautiful in action, and that is going to be a clean fight from Envision.
Honestly, Envision was able to fight back so well, considering they should have been able to, really. They're going to get a delay on the Hawk. But considering, like, they got walked over on first point, they had a great defense at Archway, eventually lost that fight, then had to come back, eventually held on to the second point at the end, and then after that, the payload's already gotten a good distance back from the actual second point capture. It was less than a meter to go. They got a Graviton, they have a self-destruct, they have a Nano Boost, they have everything they need in this last minute to hold them, as long as they can prevent Hobbs from getting a major kill here with this tire.
The tire is a big thing here. Both teams have Graviton, but Hobbs' tire has to be the fall through. You see Hobbs trying to make distance, looking for Buds, but Buds gets Nano boosted. This is gonna let Buds win any sort of Junkrat one-on-one. Hobbs doesn't have room to get a tire off, he's 3 HP. And now, Hobbs is taken down. The tire opportunity not coming to fruition. His death takes down Buds. But meanwhile, on the main part of the fight, Graviton's a big change. Vision getting the better end of it as Jaru moving his way forward, charged up, melts down Lucio, and Envision on their way, Jason, to the second point hold, Fusion University style.
I'm not even sure if that was intentional to Nano Boost Buds, but the tire didn't really do much. He has 90% on his next one. Hobbs is going to have to use his, but they're not going to have a person even touch it at this rate. Boyle going to try to come with the Tracer, but he'll be denied. And that's why you go, Envision, hold again.
And that's why you didn't see Hobbs even try for a tire at the end there, because he was the closest person to even touch the payload, just couldn't get there in time.
Jesus, that's rough for No Clout too. They should have had that second point. They had the good Graviton, but the teamwork out of Envision was just top notch. The Sound Barrier, the Biotic Field, the Bio Grenade, all landing in synchronimity. Synchronize. What's the word, CP?
Okay. What?
Synchronous.
You're looking for. So,
adjective.
I'm not sure if the word you're looking for is a word, or if it is, it's not something that
they all landed
use on a regular basis.
They all landed together. They all landed at the perfect moments, not at the same time, but one after another to really allow them to survive. And as you pointed out, Shiny being Nano boosted, it kept him alive a lot longer than it should have, which forced No Clout to commit a lot of extra resources to kill him.
It did, and honestly, the Nano boosting coming up from Crimzo was on point, whether it be on iShiny, where they also used it as a method to keep him alive under pressure, where we've sort of seen over the course of this tournament teams trying to go out of their way to focus tanks more so than normal, but focusing a tank that's Nano boosted when you got Ana healing in the back, generally a bad idea, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, you saw, like, Crimzo was able to almost keep him alive by himself while he's under fire from, like, 4 different targets. But now going into the next attacking half, Envision gonna be running, it looks like the triple tank setup with Buds on the Junkrat, pretty kind of standard. and No Clout going the same exact composition.
All right. Well,
Actually, Shiny's changing to Winston. Sorry to cut you off. I don't know. That's kind of interesting if he does commit to this.
Yeah, it very well might. I mean, you don't see Winston dive too often here, but oh wait, Orisa. Now, Reinhardt, Shiny, what are you doing? You're just trying to hurt us as casters. It's painful.
He's being a dick. Anyways, they're pushing in. They got fire as well for the Vision to spot out where they are. God, I remember the good old days of no hero limits. And by good old days, I mean, yeah, where United or whatever they're known back then, Fnatic, had a quick. Mort died from that. I don't remember who they're playing against, but Mort died to it.
Might have been too easy, but Bud's in the back, and he's going to be the source of damage here once more. Junkrat trying to lob over the shields, now challenging Hotel, and the Rats are at play in this Hotel. You would not want to stay there with how many Rats are inside, but Buds goes for it and finds it. Gets Hobbs, looking for more. He's unchecked. A golden opportunity now for Buds, chasing his way in. So much splash damage being done, and that's what happens when you win the Battle of Rats in the Hotel.
It's almost like Ratatouille here we're watching. I mean, they're in the hotel. It's kind of like a kitchen. I swear there probably was one there. Voil, though, at 60%, as well as Jarus. So both Zarya's did do a lot of damage there. They did do a lot of work. So the grabs can be really close to each other. The big discrepancy, though, is between the two Junkrats. And that's just due to Bud's winning the initial battle.
He won the Rat battle versus Hobbs. That's why he has 25% more charge. And now he's put himself in a great position for this Junkrat tire flank where...
I swear to God, I thought you said the rap battle between Junkrat. I was like, oh, that'd be interesting.
Australian rap battle. Look at this tire position right from the side. Takes down not one, but both supports. That's a one fight, Jason. Easy for Envision. They see the way.
Consider they don't need to complete. That just gets them that much closer. Jaru now can be the one to be super aggressive and grab them from behind where they're not expecting it. You could potentially follow it up with Earthshot or Shiny if he hits like one Fire Strike. Buds is still sitting back there. Jaru's being Ninja. If you're No Clout here, pushing out is difficult because the pressure you're under to defend the second point, knowing that if they get to that golden box, you're going to lose this map and then be one map away.
Jaru is also flanking. There's always someone on Envision flanking. Always and forever. Graviton from the back. They have a tire on their own, but no! Bud stops Hobbs in his tire as Jaru does the flank. Jaru's flank was protected, and the follow-through is all there. This is a rout in favor of Envision. Well executed. Watch your corners.
Yeah, I mean, a Sound Barrier coming up. Victory Sound Barrier and Envision are now one map away from getting the chance to rematch against FU in the grand finals of this tournament. Just ridiculous. Honestly, that's just because of them completely wiping out No Clout. No Clout could get the information they needed of who was potentially flanking or being the rat around the corner or the ninja in the shadows.
Look at this. One of many flanking plays for Envision here on Kings Row, and Envision right now making the case, Jason, and then some.
Yeah, that's a little rough for No Clout. You have to come up with your next plan. This is the map that they chose to go to as well, so it's not like it's a map they weren't prepared to play on. And with Sugar Free not being able to play today, it kind of limits what they can go to because they're gonna need, or they needed him to be able to get this far so far in this tournament.
All right, well, this is a rather quick 2 maps, and Jason, already No Clout going to be fighting for their tournament lives, where if they lose this next map, which will be Temple of Anubis, that's going to be it. They will be out of the tournament, and we will be getting our rematch of Fusion University versus Envision.
You know what makes me sad, ZP?
What's that?
Out of the 13 games we've had now, only 2 of them, if this is another 3-0, have actually gone past the normal allotted maps, like the normal 2 wins for best of 3 or 3 wins for best of 5.
I think that just shows to a degree of skill disparity here in the Tier 2 scene, where we have a lot of promising teams, but some teams have sort of pushed themselves over the edge and then some. And I mean, we've seen very entertaining things from Fusion University, and no small part powered by Who Are You and the magical resurgence of Zachary, where if I had to think about most improved player of 2018, already Zachary would probably be leading the list. And then you have Envision, where you've sort of grabbed some of the old, grabbed some of the new, and put together a team that so far has been highly entertaining to watch.
It's been good, and they have a great team name as well. So definitely not against casting them again in the future.
Jason, are you ready for story time right now?
Sure,
I have
ZP.
a story about Envision. All right, so when we were casting Overwatch Contenders Season 1, we had a lot of people involved. Of course, we had casters, we had Monty and Doa there advising, and we had people, just Carbon staff in general. Great friend of mine, a member of the Carbon staff who did the preview videos, Booposaurus, came in, and his main thing for Envision is that he would always say that the Envision logo looked like a bird. Like, if you look at it, you can actually see how it kind of looks like a bird rather than an eye. But he would bring this up every week to Monty. And Monty, by week 4, is just like, I get it. Why are we talking about this again? I understand that it looks like a bird, but it's actually an eye. I feel like the punchline to this was not great, but...
It wasn't great, but that's because people don't understand the kind of person Boop is. Booposaurus. He's the guy doing the Boop of the Week for Contenders. He also, him and Bo, I don't know if you've caught it yet, have done like the 100 Owls, recap videos, and those were hilarious. They showed me the first one. It was great.
Both of them are some of my favorite people. Boop, hope to get a chance to work with him at some point in the future because he's just a great guy, man. But we're going to move forward. We're going to stop shilling our friends because we're only paid to sell it for Soylent right now and our other sponsors. Jason, this defense trying to be evasive to Hobbs on Widowmaker.
Well, they're trying to, but Hobbs is finally going to have an avenue to hit a couple of shots. He's not gone high ground. Buds will have Genji, though, to counter him, and actually he's going to go directly for him. Crimson on the Sombra, already able to take down Little Menace, so they already have a support advantage, and with Buds getting the kill into Hobbs, well, there's no way on the attacking side you're going to win this point.
Buds channeling his inner who are you there, just easily dispatching Hobbs, and again, Buds has been the grunt projectile DPS. It's something he's better at here. Dash resets coming in, and you're going to actually have to bring this back because off the dive that you saw from No Clout, they did a decent amount onto that point. Envision have to buy themselves some time to reset because it's much longer for the defense to get back to that point. Here's Hobbs gets his revenge on Buds.
McGravy and Hawk were going Bunny Blaster v Bunny Blaster there for a little bit. McGravy finally gets the resuit. Now they're down quite a few men, so that first attack didn't work. But the reinforcements coming in and the kills they did get staggered onto the defending team has bought them an opportunity to actually take this now.
And there's no one to check Hobbs here. Buds was the only one that could really do it. Buds got taken down early, and that's kind of the dream for Widowmaker, where you get the opportunity to take down the Genji, buy yourself plenty of room to work with, and I think this is where Envision, they know, no, they're going to go back in here, Jason. Dorblade's saying they know it's lost, but they're going to give it one more attempt. And I think it's because Buds has Blade. He's almost has Hobbs down, right as Hobbs is able to take down Jaru. And it's on.
Oh no!
They lose the point.
Oh, no.
Buds
didn't die. He didn't die, and they're ignoring him. They're actually just leaving him. He has no opportunity to get back there. What is he doing?
Buds? Team? But meanwhile, his team is defending back here. Buds was caught off guard, and he drops the blade really late into this fight. But Jason, better late than never. Even though I'm not sure the blade was needed, Jar was able to bring that back on his own.
There's a chance they actually could have held the first point a little bit longer, too. I think McGravy, I believe it was him, came in a little bit too late to contest the point, where Buds had, obviously, the Dragon Blade to use to potentially turn it around. Either way, they hold second anyways. That quick little push out of No Clout did not work out for them, and they switched Hobbs now over to Reaper. Pretty standard what we've seen, especially when Sombra coming into last point.
So, they have to work quickly. They don't want to deal with the EMP. But lots of room here to work with. Oh no, Buds gets picked off early, got caught off guard. Early 65 opportunity now for the offense. And they're going to use the self-destruct here just to buy some room. McGravy, though, doesn't use it early on. Backs up. They've already lost Ice Shiny. Now McGravy back to the point. Holding on to the self-destruct, has time, drops the self-destruct at the point. They have to give it respect, but it's not enough. McGravy can't even regroup. Hypnoc takes them down. And this offense from No Clout now really starting to sink its teeth into Envision.
They're going to need to clean up these kills, though. It's been a long time since they finished off anyone. Shiny's going to drag this out a little bit longer. Gets the kill onto Boyle. That's the first kill they need to turn this one around. The EMP comes in. Buds has another blade in just a second, and Jaru's going to have a pulse bomb. They're all stuck together. Buds going in with the blade. Gets one kill on the Hobbs, and that should eventually be the whole. But they're going to get 1/3. They all fought the point in Vision. They gave that away for free.
They got a tick, and that's a misplay by Envision. Still get pressure out here from No Clout. And they're sticking in this here, Jason. I thought this fight would have been over a while back, but they're buying time. They have 4 on the point, and if they can just stay alive a little bit longer, Hobbs is going to be back, and he's going to be ready to spin to win it. So, Little Menace has fallen. The source of healing is down, but look at Hobbs. Hobbs coming back into the fight. Death Blossom up, looking for his opportunity, and nope, does he stay in? He just casually backing out, Jason, holding down that S button.
Yeah, I think they realized it got there a little bit too late. Once they lost Little Menace, they knew they wouldn't have the sustained healing they needed to take the point. But either way, they still get the third. So they still get that 36.9% on the board. But obviously, you're looking for much, much more than this. Bud's gonna have another blade in back-to-back-to-back fights because of how long and drawn out that last one was. And Crimson's gonna have another EMP. This is gonna be hard. They have to force out the EMP and then not feed another one over by the time they get that second attack off.
Well, they had a golden opportunity where they effectively picked up Buds for free. They can't really rely on getting that again. Crimso has EMP up, hasn't used it, and Crimso doesn't get a chance to use it. Gets poked down early on, doesn't need to use it though. Buds gets both supports in the back of the blade and makes mincemeat out of this no cloud push.
He's not going to get another blade in, but again, luckily for No Clout, they didn't use any ultimates. They still have 3 up with Little Mrs. Coalescence come in a second, and Crimso, well, they weren't able to bait out his EMP, and that's the kind of the unfortunate part, because even if they do push in and they start to commit some ultimates, Crimso can be like, hey guys, here's the EMP, we're going to win the fight, and we just used all the ults that you had and waste another couple minutes off the time.
Well, I think what happened is like Crimson was setting up for it, got poked down way too heavily, then had the back out, wasn't in a position to EMP, but it's worked out here because now this EMP can buy him time for Bud to get the blade. So ultimately-wise, it's probably a good thing. Now we watch Crimson because his set is important. He's on the top, he goes back, goes for a raw hack, now looking for the EMP, and just drops it. Hits about 2 to 3. As Hobbs, unable to sustain in the period of the EMP, 2 kills, now 3 for Envision. The EMP has done its work.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, and again, the Clout didn't attack. I kept talking about this yesterday, how annoyed it was for me to see so many teams continue to attack and do damage after the EMP gone off when they already lost the fight. But they don't. They stopped doing that. Crimson only at 40%. Shiny's going to be able to get him up to about 60, 70. And they have a window now to work with. They have a legitimate window that they can actually push into the point now.
Read my mind, Jason. I was going to say, timing windows, we talk about them a lot in Overwatch. This is one of those windows where you have to make advantage of it. 2 minutes left. You will not have a better window for this if you're No Clout to win this game. Which to me, I look at Hobbs now. How Hobbs plays this, playing with the rest of his team, looking for the Death Blossom, gonna be key, but uh-oh. Hypnot went really far out because he got Primal Rage in time. No, he doesn't. He plays with fire. He gets burned. Now, No Cloud is still committed here. This is their window, but Crimso's gotten the EMP up, and it's all going to pieces.
Yeah, Boyle, though, gets a double kill. He's actually on point. Buds, he died with his blade up. The EMP on Crimso is still up, but he has been finished off. Shiny's got to stall for time. He's got to use his Primal Rage. He needs to buy time for his team to get in here.
He didn't Primal Rage. Winston started hitting their Q keys here, Jason. And now No Cloud gets an opportunity when they shouldn't have. Buds down again. Can't blade. EMP from Crimso comes out, but it's not a great situation. But look at that. Hobbs plays EMP. Got Pulse Bomb. The one time you can Pulse Bomb a Reaper. Excellent coordination by Envision. And Envision might be pulling themselves out of a bad situation of their own creation. As Buds in with the blade, looking for anything. Getting mostly the raw end of a Winston Tesla cannon. But it still is going to work out. They zone people off the point. And now, No Clout. They have one more opportunity, Jason, but it's not quite as sweet.
Shiny with the 600 IQ Winston leap there. He jumped back into Boyle to kill him with his own Pulse Bomb. So he died, but he took Boyle down with him. So really well done by him to actually help turn that fight around. Again, I'm really confused because that whole fight started with Hypnot trying to go under bridge where the Mega is. But he was by himself, and then he got killed really quickly. I don't understand why they did that.
Well, he hit Primal Rage. I think he was a little bit further out because he knew he could Primal, but he just didn't Primal in time. Then Shiny didn't Primal in time. It was sloppy Winston play all around. But now here comes No Clout, moving their way in. Watching Hobbs with the Death Blossom at the ready. He's going to Wraith Walk in and around. EMP comes out, doesn't hit Hobbs. The rest of the team is trying to stay alive in the interim. They do, except for Boyle. So it's 5v6. Hobbs looking for any sort of Death Blossom opportunity. Doesn't really have it right now, Jason, but McGravy gonna go for the self-destruct, and it's very scattered for No Cloud. They're kind of under, kind of over, but what they're not doing is actually getting kills to secure the point.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. They're gonna be stopped at 65.2% onto the second point. You know, we give a lot of, I'll be blunt, we give a lot of shit to Reapers when they don't use Death Blossom on the second point. But at the same time, you know, the more you think about it, I can understand. I was thinking like, oh, you know, Death Blossom to get 1 kill, it's worth it, right? Well, I don't really think so. I think Reaper becomes very vulnerable when he's Death Blossoming. When he doesn't use it, there's always that threat of, okay, well, if we commit any big, you know, cooldowns towards him, he could just Wraith form and get away. So it's not like we're gonna turn that into a kill. But when he's Death Blossoming, it's like, all right, we can kill him, we can focus him down, and that's really easy to go. I almost feel like you need like a Transcendence or a Soundbarrier to go with that to. I mean, it's a big investment to use just to allow the Death Blossom to fully go off and to keep the Reaper alive. But Reaper is one of those heroes that just gets strong. He doesn't get stronger the longer the fight goes on, but he improves his ability to stay alive the longer a fight goes on, if that makes any sense.
Jason, I'll be eloquent about this. Death Blossom is a crime of opportunity. It doesn't always come up, but sometimes you have the right moment to press the button, which is why when watching Hobbs, I never said, oh, you got Death Blossom now, or anything along those lines, because he never really had that opportunity. McGravy was generally alive and a threat. You don't want to throw out a raw Death Blossom while there's still a diva around that could go, oh, I guess I'm just going to put you in the Matrix now. Hello, Neo. It doesn't really work. You have to hope for the opportunity where there's 3 or 4 people around you, where there's not a diva that could ruin your day, and then, when all timing is right, you spin and win the team fight.
Yeah, you gotta wait for the stars to align.
Yeah, it's a hard recipe for a Reaper, but I would say the problem is there for No Clout is that they just didn't have a clean engage. They never really had anyone all together. It turned into a bunch of 1v1s around the point, and when you get into those sort of skirmishy fights, it favors the defense just out of pure respawn advantage.
Well, moving into the second half here now of potentially our final map, I do like the way that the defending side here of No Clout does hold this point, because Hawk has been so good at denying Winston's the opportunity to jump up here, because he just rocket boosts into them when they use that leap and just just prevents them from getting up there, so they protects the rest of his team quite a bit. I wonder how they're going to work with Hobbs on the Widowmaker though.
Be interested to see Hobbs on the defensive Widow right now. They have the Mercy up because then they can res him if he gets picked off. Hobbs just weighing the back, and Buds going to be picked off first. Aided by the Zenyatta there, but Buds will be brought right back up, so it's not permanent, and you see the pressure coming into this encampment where you have takes coming around the backside, and Hobbs decides it's a little bit of breathing room, Jason.
Gravy's going to be desuited, unfortunately, though, on towards point. Hobbs, he's going to have the breathing room. He's going to have the opportunity to hit a lot of shots here, but Buds is going to take him out of the sky with the help of fire, being damaged it, but Boyle on the Junkrat is going to be able to do some serious work. You can see them denying the point. The first third has been taken, but they're not really fully committed into this just yet.
And the defense here not really able to make this a clean defense. They lose a person here, they lose a person there. Bud's now plenty of room to work with. This is a lost point here, Jason. You have to be perfect to hold first for a long period of time, and perfect includes not letting Buds hit his stride.
And now ZP, this is No Cloud's last chance. If they can't defend this point, then they will be knocked out of the tournament and won't get to go up against FU in our grand finals of the Beat Invitational Season 3. But sticking to the Widow on the push, able to do some decent damage to Hawk, but not enough to get him desuited just yet, obviously. And they have a window, as we just talked about, that they can push in with. Paintbrush does not have his Transcendence, and they're going to need that to have the longevity to force this fight in Buds again.
Sets up the 65. Boyle, he's the only one that can save them now. The tire is up, doesn't get anything. This is the dream right now for Envision. No tire, no Transcendence, multiple picks, and Envision, you are getting a full ride scholarship to Fusion University as you move on to the grand finals.
Well, hopefully for them, they don't get expelled this time, because they did lose to them yesterday in the winner bracket finals. So just pretty much a rematch between these two teams. And we'll see how it's going to go. It's going to be a tough one for Envision. They did take it to 4 maps, but it still did go. They took it to 4 maps, right? But it was still a 3-0 for FU.
Yep, and for Envision, they're going to have to find that extra gear of play. Certainly, they're going to have a better plan for dealing with Who Are You, who, to me, Jason, Who Are You was sort of their bane, where there's a lot of good things to say about Fusion University. It wasn't only just Who Are You. Zachary was also playing out of his mind, but it felt like they kind of got scarred on Dorado and overly started to focus on Who Are You, much to their detriment. So, well, we'll have to see just how they adapt. Any final thoughts before we go to a break before our grand finals?
I think Envision looked a lot better today, but I still feel like they're going to need to play maybe even a little bit better than that against FU, because FU has just, they haven't even dropped a map technically. They've drawn 1 map and won everything else. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a hard fight, but Buds is looking good. iShotty actually looking really good today as well, so there's a chance.
All right. Well, guys, we have our grand finals heading your way. Thank you so much for sticking with us over the past 3 days. The best still yet to come. The grand finals heading your way after this short break.